Joe, seeing these reports that Donald Trump was considering a strike on Iran just last week, that is particularly concerning that he'd use this transition period to do that.
Well, Laura, I wouldn't use the past tense here. It's still on the table. He is considering it. I think the New York Times account was very strange. It said that Trump wanted to take out the ability of Iran to build up its enriched uranium because they have enough uranium now to develop 2 nuclear weapons. He was talked out of it by Secretary of State Pompeo and the Vice-President Mike Pence. Can you imagine any 2 people in the world who are less interested in the violent overthrow of Iran talking the President of the United States out of an attack? I mean, it just struck me as weird because, Pompeo's threatening all kinds of other things. But look, the president's very active in the area of foreign policy. He still has all of his options on the table. I know he's already going to he sent the order over to the Defense Department. That's why he cleaned it out with he cleaned out some people there and put in his own people, so there's no pushback. He wants to reduce American troops in Iraq and Afghanistan to a minimum, which begins a whole new debate in America. My generation, Biden's generation, Trump's generation, was about the war in Vietnam, and the big debate for years was who lost Vietnam. As soon as we leave Afghanistan and Iraq, and we will leave both places very shortly, there'll be a new debate in America when the Taliban take over Afghanistan and Iraq returns to sectarian wars between Sunni and Shia. There'll be a debate about who lost Afghanistan, who lost Iraq, and the rest of it. But look, the president still has a lot of foreign policy options on the table, and I wouldn't put it past him to do a little bit more on the Iranian thing. That New York Times story was just a little too pat. He considered it, and then, oh my goodness, it was just too violent. Repercussions. Well, he's not worried about that kind of thing. He doesn't want to leave. He doesn't want to leave Joe Biden any options. Biden's going to go racing back to the nuclear deal with the Iranians, and of course, I would hesitate attacking Iran, not because anyone's afraid of Iran, because today Iran has solid Russian and Chinese backing. So they got Iran's back. And look, the world isn't going to go into World War III if there's low-level violence. But the United States is going to have to do something with this capability that Iran has, because if it doesn't, the ultimate option is the Israelis will show everybody how to do it. They're very good at that.
Well, it begs the question as well, what is Donald Trump going to do with this period between now and January? He did surprise many. There were some doubters about what he could do in North Korea, but he has had more success there, it could be argued, than Obama did. But Joe, as you say, he's got an eye to foreign policy. Are you concerned about what he might do or won't do in this transition period? And is it conventional that a president in this transition period would take such big decisions?
Oh, yes. There was a time when Lyndon Johnson had notified the American people he wasn't going to run for president again. Between his presidency and the next one, he bombed the bejesus out of North Vietnam, and President in his last days too, or in his early transition period, Nixon did the same thing. I mean, the president, Laura, wears 2 hats. One's chief executive of the United States, and he can't get a pharmaceutical bill or coronavirus passage bill passed without 535 people participating. As commander-in-chief, he can pick up the phone and move the 7th Fleet immediately. He can order an attack immediately, and unless it's crazy, unless he's, doing something Hitler-esque, his military will follow suit because that is that's their brief. They got to follow the president unless it's just crazy as hell. And, stopping Iran from acquiring fissile material is always a good day's work as far as I'm concerned. Those people are the crazy people in the Middle East. They're the most irresponsible people in charge of that kind of material. And, sooner or later, the Israelis are going to have to do something about it unless America does it, though we do have cyber ways of doing these kinds of things. Yeah. But look, the president is completely able to do these things, and he's capable, and he's legally entitled to do these things. And there's nothing that anybody can do about it. So I think we're going to have some surprises. And, if he attacked Iran, half of America would come to his rescue, because the evangelicals, 40 million who vote, like the idea of keeping Iran on the back foot and that kind of thing. So, he's got plenty of support. And if he does this, I don't think he's going to be sitting around doing nothing. The fact that the New York Times got that part right. He's thinking the big thoughts. And when Donald Trump thinks big thoughts, duck for cover.